What is going on here? Why did you invite her kind? I own these lands. You're standing in my house.
Security. Remove this woman immediately. Evelyn Harrow's voice cut through the Hamptons estate like a blade. Diamonds flashed at her wrist as she gestured dismissively toward Naomi. Her eyes traveled over Naomi's deep mahogany skin and natural hair with a sneer of practiced authority. I will not have our family name dragged through the mud by some gatecrasher looking for a handout. Naomi Walker didn't flinch. She stood calmly, her tailored suit simple but impeccably cut. Ma'am, I believe there's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Evelyn stepped closer, her voice a venomous whisper. This estate is worth $30 million. These guests are from the oldest families in the country. You do not belong on this grass, let alone at this wedding. Security moved in, but Naomi didn't rush. Instead, she turned and walked toward the garden path, confidently avoiding uneven stones without looking. She took shortcuts only a child who grew up there would know. Staff froze mid-task. The head groundskeeper, an older man, slowly removed his cap as she passed, his eyes widening in recognition. Evelyn noticed. "Why is everyone acting strange?" she muttered, her irritation sharpening. "Like and subscribe, because this story is just getting started." Naomi didn't leave. She walked back through the iron gates and chose an empty table at the edge of the reception, placing a leather briefcase beside her. "She's back," Evelyn hissed, her face reddening. "Security, I told you to escort her out." "She was outside the gates, ma'am," the guard said uneasily. "She's on public property, or so she says." "She's trying to ruin my daughter's wedding," Evelyn told her circle of friends. "Look at her, sitting there with those fake papers, probably looking for a settlement." A server hesitated near Naomi with a tray of champagne. "Absolutely not," Evelyn barked. "No one serves her. No one speaks to her." Then a tall man approached from the parking area, Detective Lucas Reed. He was here for security detail, but when his eyes locked on Naomi's face, he stopped dead. All the color drained from his face. "My God," he whispered. "Judge Walker, what are you doing here?" Evelyn froze. "Judge? Lucas, don't be absurd. You know this woman? Subscribe now, because the truth is about to surface, and you won't want to miss it." "Mrs. Harrow," Lucas said, his voice tight, "do you actually have the deed to this house? The physical deed?" "My husband's family has lived here for 20 years," Evelyn snapped. "We bought it after the previous owners, the Walkers, went bankrupt and fled." Naomi opened her briefcase with a soft click. "My father never went bankrupt, Evelyn. He was ill, and your husband's legal firm handled the sale while he was on his deathbed. Only, the sale was never finalized. The documents were forged." Lucas scrolled through his phone, accessing public records. "Property taxes paid by the Naomi Walker Trust for 22 years. There is no record of a sale to the Harrows. None." The groundskeeper stepped forward, trembling. "Her family built this place, Mrs. Harrow. I've been sending the maintenance reports to her office for a decade." Evelyn's world began to tilt. "You're fired," she screamed at the gardener. "He doesn't work for you," Naomi said evenly, standing up. "He never did." Like and subscribe, because the loudest voices often crumble first. Evelyn circled Naomi, desperate to regain control. "This is a scam. Look at you. No jewels, no entourage. You're a fraud playing dress-up." The crowd, mostly white and wealthy, murmured in support of Evelyn. The bias in the air was thick. They wanted Naomi to be the villain. Naomi felt the weight of 20 years of silence. She thought of her father, whose legacy had been stolen because the Harrows thought a young black girl wouldn't have the resources to fight back. She gripped a black folder inside her case. "See?" Evelyn mocked. "She's shaking. The sob story is falling apart." "Mrs. Harrow," Lucas interrupted, his voice echoing across the lawn. "I strongly suggest you stop talking. You are speaking to a United States District Judge." The silence that followed was deafening. "Judge Naomi Walker," Lucas continued, "the woman you just called a gatecrasher holds a lifetime appointment to the federal bench, and you just confessed to occupying her property in front of a dozen witnesses." Evelyn staggered back, her hand hitting a dessert table. Shattered glass sprayed the grass. "Subscribe, because the final reckoning is moments away." The Harrow family attorney arrived, saw Naomi, and nearly tripped over his own feet. "Judge Walker, I didn't know you were coming in person." The groom, a young white man named Mark, pushed through the crowd. He looked at Naomi, then at his mother-in-law's horrified face. "Mark, Do something, Evelyn pleaded. She's trying to steal the house. Mark looked at Naomi with tears in his eyes. Mom, stop. You don't understand. 5 years ago, when I was caught up in that corporate fraud case, I was facing 20 years. Most judges would have thrown the book at me to make an example. He turned to Naomi. You gave me a second chance. You saw that I was being used by my firm. You chose rehabilitation over a cage. The guests gasped. The criminal Evelyn had been hunting was actually the woman who had saved her son-in-law's life. Naomi took the microphone from the podium. I didn't come here to ruin a wedding, she said. I came to reclaim a home. Evelyn, you have 30 days to vacate. I won't sue for 20 years of back rent, but you will fund a scholarship in my father's name, and you will publicly apologize to every staff member you've insulted today. Naomi closed her briefcase. Real power doesn't need to scream, Evelyn. It just needs to show up. She walked away, her head high, leaving the Hamptons elite in a silence they would never forget. When you hold real power, do you lift others or crush them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. From the other side of silence, Toss Stories, where real voices rise and truth finds its echo. Like, subscribe, and share, because justice arrives when it's least expected.